Hey guys, what's going on? Yes, well, it's still early. It's like 10 o'clock, you know, and it's 10 o'clock on a Sunday. And, I'm just not much of a partier these days, and most all my spare time I want to work with you guys. And, and I look and see it's only for a few people. So you look at all the hours that I spend doing my job, and it's only for a few people. And I only really know that it's actually just working for just a few people. Although it looks like we've got this mirage of, I said mirage, of like a 220 something people that are part of this group here, but everyone seems to be asleep. It's par for the course. All right. It should look like that. It's the way it's supposed to be. And just that, either I'm just a terrible teacher, my cussing and all that stuff has limited my viewing field, and if anything, has put a damper on God and His words because no one wants to hear it, but it's got cuss words in it and stuff. So I become just kind of a stumbling block to those people that are trying to find their salvation. And pitting the spiritual side of the Bible up against the letter side, when a lot of people really believe in that letter, they really, enjoy drinking the wine from the bitch. Doesn't make me out to be a happier person, or not so happy. But that this particular job that's been that I picked out for myself isn't all that gracious and all that beautiful. And no, I'm not an instant totem, Christian, Jesus, Bible thumping dude. I know the inside and the outside now of our Bibles, and it's beautiful. And I love being able to come and show you how this stuff works and giving you this code so you can do it yourself. I'll teach you how to fish so you can feed yourself. But in the long run, what happens is we are learning about the inner workings of ourselves and the inner workings of the Bible, and that means the inner workings. This part we're reaching down. We've pulled apart the surface scripture, and we have done it in such a way that it helps to reveal some secrets inside. Like this next part of this is number chapter 28. This is, if you add 28 together, you get 10. So it's a beginning of a new story, believe it or not, but it's still within the same stories, but it's the beginning. It's the beginning. And we're going to get the same story that because, I always do a little pre-shadowing or pre-talking about what's going on. And this is a short one. This one here only has 22 scriptures on it, whereas that last one was forever. It was way down here. So I just erased what was needed or wasn't needed, and we come up with 5 worlds. 5 worlds means that this is about, well, we'll find it's just it only has 5 worlds, and on the 6th one down here, on the top of the ladder, so to speak, it's 21 and 22. So all I can do is let's just go through it and find out what the hell it's all about. Now, what the story starts off with is that Isaac calls on his son Jacob, and he blesses him. But he also tells him, he says, I want you to go and find your brothers, your mother's brother's family, and I want you to go and get married from one of those people over there. I don't want you to get it from these other people. So here's this being told again to him, but this time God's telling him, his father's telling him, says, and I want you to do what I tell you to do. Remember, I'm telling you to go and do what I tell you to do. It's another one of those, my father's sent me to do his bidding, to do what my father sent me to do. When Jesus comes into town, it's like, my father, I have to do as my father sent me. I have to do his bidding. I have to do what he says. And so that's the control that we have overchanging ourselves by having control over our brother or this child within us. And through meditation, do we set him free from inside of us to go and do our bidding? It was us that sat down on the side of the road or wherever you're going to do, wherever you want to lay your carcass, that the eagles will come and find you no matter what. And we hear this with Esau. Esau was pushed underneath a bush and going to be left to die by his mom. But God calls, I can hear from where he calls, and I'll take care of him. That's the way it is, this idea that wherever the body falls, wherever the carcass lays, and this is that idea that when we go into meditation, we are held into some kind of a suspension, and the body, the carcass lies. And then the dove descends. This would be the eagles coming to take come to the carcass and take it up off and into heaven, and that's the whole story about why a lot of cultures will put their people up right there and let the animals take them off, because it's a physical representation of something that goes on the inside of us if we were to seriously die while we're alive, while we're still alive, my goodness, but that's the way it is. It's just a spiritual idea that, that you just go back out into the world, going up to heaven. So you get all these pieces, you're being cut up and busted up, so it's easier to get rid of you and stuff. But in the meditation situation, all it means is like knocking out the beast, and whenever you've got him knocked out, you chop off his head, separating what's above from below, and then, with his own knife, chop his head off, and voila, the new you, just like that. It's pretty easy. All right, so we're in one of the coolest part of the text. This chapter 28 here is the idea that when he's going on his way with this business, he finds a rock, and he wants to. This is the first instance of the rock. All right, because what happens is I believe there's going to be another one later. All right. I've never read the Bible so closely before. Okay, I'm telling you that right now. All right. So we're going to get rid of you and let's bring up the writing. Okay. And Isaac called Jacob, blessed him, charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Panaram, and to the house of Bethel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife thence from the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother. That's number 2. 3, and God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people. This is 3. Remember, this is always about people, nations, city. From the city of David. This is from the individual, from a person. All right. And 4, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham. Number 4. So what it gives you back is this part. You'll see this is the land. Watch, it'll show up. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Panaram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob, and Esau's mother. That's number 5. 6. When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Panaram to take him a wife from thence, and that he blessed him and gave him charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And number 7, and Jacob obeyed his father and mother and was gone to Panaram. And then 8 down on the end it says, and Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, once he saw that, comes back this way to 9, and it says, Then went Esau to Ishmael, thinking that, hey, the Canaanites are bad enough, right? Because those are bad, but he goes to this one here is still being born on the other side. He goes to Ishmael and took unto wives. So he's still on the left side. He's still representing the left side. Even so he takes away, he still is in his father's family, all right? But it's the left side, all right? And nothing good comes of that, all right? This would wind up being the sister of this Nebaioth to be his wife. So this would be 9 right here. So he's going on, his wife is going to be dark, all this stuff is going to be going on. Let's see what happens. See what happens. 10. Where are we at? 10, right here, right there. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went towards Haran. This is in here because he's in the mountains. And he went out. Remember, these guys are all connected. These are all connected. They're all connected to the inside people. They're connected to God, all of them. All right, so what do we get here? Maybe he hasn't met him yet, but let's see, number 10. So let's go to 11, the next one. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of stones of that place and put them as for his pillows. And he lied down in that place to sleep. This is in here, number 11. He found a place within here to sleep. And he found a bunch of stones for his pillows. 12 on the end. And he dreamed and beheld a ladder set up on the earth, and at the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending upon it. It's number 12. And it's talking about a connection between earth and heaven. There's something going on between here and there. There's a ladder of some kind stretching way up into heaven. And we get to 13 over here. 13 is one of the worlds, the beginning of the worlds. There's 13 says. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land wherein you liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. Number 13. Where he standeth. This is on the land. Where he standeth. Now 14. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south. And to thee in thy seed shall all the families of earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places, whereas they go, and will bring thee again into this land. And I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee. Number 15. This is 15. So God is with him. He ain't going to go nowhere. And God ain't going to let him go. 15. Now 16 down here. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew not. Number 17, down over this side here, where the last of the worlds, when it comes down to 5 is about our bodies, the brethren, and stuff like that. So number 17. And he was afraid, and he said, how dreadful is this place? There is none other but the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. And so this is number 17, which makes 8. That would be a number 8. And he was afraid, and he said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God. And this is the gate of heaven. Number 18, coming in here. This should be the gate of heaven. But 18, what do we get? And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, which is going to be your pineal gland. He took this, well, that means you're coming up here for comfort. So the stone is being used for comfort. So he set it up for a pillar and he poured oil upon it. This is that idea of bringing it alive, all right? And he came to the name of that place, Bethel. But in the name of that city, it was called Luz at that first. It's number 19. Number 19. Now, I don't know what Luz means. Let's find out what Bethel means first, real fast, just real quick. All right. We want to know what that means. Bethel, paste. So it came into Bethel, and Bethel means house of El. Okay, that's not so bad. That's the power of God. Okay, that's what that is in Hebrew, house of God. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back where we were. Where were we? Genesis. All right, so this is number 19, which represents 10. That's where we are. And he called the name of that place Bethel. That's the house of God. But the name of that city was called Luz first. Let's see what Luz means real quick. Copy. And Bethel. Now put Luz in here. What does Luz mean? Luz is a Spanish and Portuguese feminine name. It says Our Lady of Light. It's something about a Virgin Mary or Our Lady of Light. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. So all this stuff has been positive. All right. So he called upon the name of that place as Bethel, the place of God. And this Luz first would have been just that it was a female energy. I would think that's what we're saying here. And we get 20, 21, and 22. Is that how it goes? 20 is the end of this. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me, I will keep me in the way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on. This is where you get white. This is where the raiment comes in. That's what it is, 20. And then we have the last two, is 21 and 22. So that I come again in my Father's house in peace. Then shall the Lord be my God. 21 is 3. If you put those together, we got our intervention. He's brought God into his life. You want him, I'm in your life. You're in my life. Bring him on. 22, and the stone which I have set for a pillar shall be my God's house. And of all that shall give me, I will surely give a tenth unto thee. It's beautiful, beautiful. Now, there's a good mention of tenth. Abraham is supposedly the first person that gives this to this Malcolm, something another, something earlier. When Abraham, there is a Chelshnik, I think is the word, where he gives a tenth of all the spoils to. All right, and so this is that idea. This is where you start bilking, thinking God needs money. All right, if we've decided to give a tenth of whatever our spoils are to God, we're going to repay God for all the wonderful things in our life. And who gets it all this but these damn preachers and priests and stuff like that? I've given thousands of dollars in talent and time. Oh my God, tons and tons of money and time and energy and talent. That's my tithes. But do you know that they call it this, that 10% of our mind that we're working out of is this carnal side of our mind. Now, in my time, I've heard, hey, we use more than 10% of our brain. That's a load of shit, The trouble is that, our whole mind is working, every part of it, unless there's something really, truly wrong with you and you're missing a piece of it, The entire brain is working. But that part that actually says hi and thank you and has actually, Can you stop your heart and just know, as soon as you pass out, your heart starts beating again? You know, can you shut off any of these things? No, you can't. There's something else. They're all connected. Your whole body's connected. But those things that you have direct control over, those things, that carnal mind in that particular place, the way you think, what you do, and where you go, and what you're doing with it, and all that, living and whatever, that's 10% is all you have control over. And this was in our Bibles, and the Bible is thousands of years old, you know. Somebody knew a lot about our lives and our world, and this information can only come from our Bible. Whereas that's on the mankind, this guy's out, no. The stone that this guy slept on, it's going to be a couple of different kinds of stones, but the idea is that it's this one here. It's not this stone that people of the outside world, that kings and queens sit on top of, you know, and that they actually found the stone that Jacob slept on. No, couldn't do that. That's funny. And that's folly. That's folly. It's just, you know, let them think what they want, you know, because when people fall for the folly, they've got to build things. They got to have all these different things. There's a few things that are missing out of the bunch. And thank God, you know. So the mystery goes on. But they have to still, this is the idea that they have to, it's the snare, you know. And how many people say, that's real? What do you mean? What do you mean, Jesus? They've got all kinds of information out there about him. And no, they don't. No, they don't. You know. Oh, he was here and he was there and I was there and I was there and he was there and I was over there and he's still alive, you know. No, it says that. It says that in the Bible. It says, you know, no, they say I'm over here. If they say I'm there, believe it not. He says, believe it not. Who are you going to believe? Your own goddamn mind? Or are you going to believe the Bible? And it says, I am not there. He's not there. There isn't a him there. You're God. That's why he doesn't want you to make all these images up for something. You're going to be looking and look. Is that him? Is that him? Is that him? Is that it? Is that him? Is that him? No, it's you. It's always been you. But because of this trappings, you know, of religion and all these icons, and we've got everyone out there worshiping a dead Christ, for Christ's sakes. That's what everyone is worshiping. They're worshiping the dead in themselves, because that's what you get when you walk around on religion, when you're working off of the letter side, when you are following the word, you are following the dead. The dead, you're the dead. This is how Jesus separates you. Let the dead bury the dead. You know, they're the outsiders. It's these people that are the religious, and they're praying out in the open. He says, no, go on the inside. Get into your closet and shut the door, you silly riches. Do it the right way. Don't be like those hypocrites, like to stand in the middle of the churches and on street corners, show off their piety. He says, I want you to go inside and I want you to do this quietly. I want you to do it secretly to your Father. Go up and Father, and Father will repay you. That's why he says they'll get their rewards. You know, he says, but what I want you to do, I want you to go in, close the door, and when you manage to shut down, when you shut it off, go to the Father, and he will reward you immediately, just like that. How beautiful is that? That's what we get to, but no one wants to delve that close down into the Bible and find out what it is. But here it is. We're talking about it, and it's beautiful. All right. So this is the first mention of this ladder from heaven and earth. All right. Jacob's ladder. Now, I've spent a lot of time ending the story with, he called the place Peniel when he sees God's face to face. But we haven't heard that yet. It's probably coming later. All right. We'll see, but I'm almost sure that I've read that before. All right. But this is one of the more exciting pieces of this. This is 10. It's the new time. Jacob is on his way to a new place. He's been blessed. He's much happier this way. And we're just waiting to see what happens next. He should find himself going up in the top of this mountain. This is where he's going to wind up. This is the same place when he goes up and meets up with his family, you know, in this higher realm of things, right? This is where you're going to later on. This is where Moses gets the priest of Midian and the 7 daughters, and he winds up marrying Zipporah, the oldest of the 7 daughters. And so, you know, it starts the stories all over again. So, you know, all of these guys, they're marrying the seventh chakra on this side, and the priest of Midian. This is all these good sides. This is all the inside people. All right. So we haven't got to them yet, you know, but that's just some foreshadowing to show you how the stories just keep rolling, just like this format that we're getting, from change to change to change to change. You know, it's just beautiful, right? It's cool stuff on earth, and you're hearing it right here, and you can do the same thing. All right. So I'll see you.